Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for watching. If you're a Black woman who's dreaming of moving abroad, um, then today I want to talk to you about breaking through that feeling of stuckness, the feeling of it's impossible, there are too many obstacles, or I'm afraid, I don't think I can do this. Let's talk about breaking through that, because that is the obstacle. That's the number one obstacle. That's the thing that gets in your way of everything, of that dream that you really want, that life that you really want for yourself and your family, or just for yourself, of living abroad. Let's talk about how to get through that feeling of stuckness and making a mindset shift that helps you take action toward making your move abroad possible, to making that move abroad, period. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Marcia Hylton, and I am a Caribbean-born American who now calls Mexico City home. I I am a new resident of Mexico City. I'm super excited about that. So this expat process is still relatively new to me. I am not a newbie at travel. I've been traveling a lot to a lot of places, and we'll talk about that in another video sometime. But the actual commitment and to another country, that's new for me. I currently hold a passport for my country of origin, the Caribbean. I hold a passport for the United States, and I hold a resident card for Mexico, this country of Mexico. So I love having options, and I know you would like to have options too if you don't feel like you have them now. But sometimes there's that thing in our heads that just gets in the way. Sometimes it's that we're listening to what other people are saying, and their fear and everything else kind of gets in our way. So let's talk today about how you can move through that. And this is a video you can come back to time and time again. When you start feeling that again, either come back to the video and watch it again, or at least keep it saved and go back and find the parts you like and listen to it again, or just jot some notes down today as I'm talking, okay? And before I get started though, make sure you hit subscribe. Yeah, this channel is relatively new. Just getting that subscriber list up. Help me get that subscriber list up. You can always unsubscribe if I don't meet your needs, but I know I will. So subscribe, and also hit the bell for notifications, because when I go live, it's your opportunity to ask questions and get them answered. And me being a newbie to the expat life means all of these things are still fresh in my mind. You know, not only the mindset stuff, but the actual, I don't know, practical things that we have to work through. The logistics of moving abroad. I mean, I may share a little bit in this video, but in another video I'll talk about everything I did, the steps I took, because I am someone who actually sold all my stuff to do this. So hit the notification bell so you will be notified by YouTube whenever I go live, and you can start asking me questions about what I'm doing, what I did, the recent things I did, and how I made my decisions, and all of that. I am an open book. I am here for you. Ask me the questions. So hit notification, hit subscribe. And if you like this video, keep watching this video, and make sure you hit a thumbs up at the end, or even now. I'm not gonna be mad at you. You can hit thumbs up right now, and let's get started. All right, yeah, let's get started. I'm excited. I'm super excited. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm excited when I'm talking to you guys. All right. So I have my notes here. You will see me kind of popping this over here, back here, wherever I can take a peek at it so I can stay on track, because I will lose track of what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the first thing, which is our emotions. Some of us are more in touch with our emotions than others. Oh, by the way, and here's me going off track. If I sound echoey, it's because I'm in an empty house. This is my house. I just got back to the US maybe about 10 days ago. I've lost track of time. Because I'm selling my house. That's the last thing I have to sell. We won't go into everything else right now, but last thing I have to sell, my car, my belongings, all that sold. My house, and I'll talk to you about the process another time. So I came back to sort of regroup with my realtor team and get this thing moving. The house is pretty empty. That's my living room back there. sliding glass doors going outside to a patio, another set of sliding glass doors going outside to a patio, another set of sliding glass doors going out to the backyard, and the view of the mountains and the valley and all that, because I live on the side of a mountain in Texas, West Texas. So the house is echoey because there isn't a lot going on in this house right now. So just, I sell this house and I'm back to Mexico City. But forgive me for that. I hope you can hear me clearly. All right, got my water here because I'm about to start choking. It is dry. It is the desert that I live in. So bear with me. I'm trying not to start coughing. All right, first point I want to make in terms of this mindset shift, this unstuckness that we're trying to work towards, and I know that's not a real word. First step is to understand your emotions. It's okay to acknowledge that you feel apprehensive or that you feel just a mix of emotions. Maybe you feel excited, like I do sometimes, excited and anxious at the same time, right? Excited but a little fearful. It's okay. And some people are not that in touch with their emotions immediately, so what it might look like for those people is avoidance. It might be procrastination, and everything's just too important right now for you to get to that. It can't fit on your calendar because there's so many other things that you must do right now. Those things you must do right now are supporting your life as it is. The things you're avoiding doing would support the life that you dream of, the life of you living abroad, somewhere else in this world, outside the US, right? So it looks different for everyone, this stuck in the emotions phase. It's normal. It's not odd. Everyone has it. Even the people you see, the people you admire, the influencers on YouTube, on Instagram, the people who've already done the expat life, the ones you follow and watch your videos live and take their courses, like they all had to deal with that. Everyone has stood where you are right now. And me, much more recently, since this is all just something, I've just got my residency. I've just made Mexico City my home, Mexico my home. So fear and doubt and uncertainty are all part of the process. Do not feel like you're alone in that. Do not feel like it means something is wrong or you're making a wrong decision. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you are making a real impactful, life-impacting decision, a big decision, but it doesn't mean it's a wrong decision. So that apprehension you feel just means, hey, this is a significant life change, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be able to make the change. That doesn't mean the dream is impossible for you. That doesn't mean you don't deserve to live the life of your dreams in whichever country you choose. It's all there for you. No one else deserves it more than you do. It's all there for you. It's all possible for you. So know that the emotions you feel are normal. They're not scary. They may feel scary, but they are normal. So you don't have to be afraid of them. You can let yourself feel them, let yourself experience them, and know that that's fine and everyone has them. Believe me, everyone has them. Okay, first step was just understanding your emotions. The next step is visualizing the life you desire. Now, some of you start doing, I have a certified life coach, and I've worked with clients where when they're doing the visualization, they go back to the stuckness, right? Because they feel afraid of allowing themselves to dream too big. Or they dream really small because they told themselves that the bigger dream is not possible for them. And I'm saying, the universe is wide open, the opportunities are wide open, and who, if not you, who? Everyone deserves this. You deserve this. You deserve it as much as anyone else. So when you're doing the visualizing, when you're visualization, allow yourself to imagine the things you think are incredible, the things you think are impossible. This is just visualizing. This is allowing yourself to dream. Do not say no to yourself before the universe has said no to you. Just be open to saying yes, yes, yes to yourself and all the possibilities that exist for anyone else. Okay, even if you think they don't exist for you, I know you can imagine them for someone else. So imagine them for you like they are for someone else, all right? Whether it's you thinking of yourself walking through, I don't know, you live in a charming little flat in Paris, or you want to be in Nairobi, Kenya, or on the beaches of Kenya, or watching the sunset in, I don't know, a cafe in Barbados, or being in Thailand and island hopping around the islands off the coast of Phuket. um, just allow yourself to have this visual of what you want your life abroad to look like. It's okay. There are no no's. There are only yeses. Go ahead and allow yourself to have this visual. Make it big. You know that saying, shoot for the moon. Is that how it goes? Shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll still be among the stars. It's about setting your goal much further than what you think is even possible. Because the further you set that goal, the further you're going to get, even if you didn't hit that goal the first time. So allow yourself to visualize the possibilities, any possible thing that you would give to someone else or see for someone else, or you've seen other people do. Allow yourself to imagine that for yourself. We'll talk about the logistics later. You can deal with logistics later. Let's just let our imaginations, let's allow ourselves to visualize. Right? Let yourself feel the good feelings. Now we got the other feelings that are kind of scary. Let yourself feel the good feelings when you're visualizing this. Feel warmth and excitement. Let yourself feel that. It's not just like daydreaming. It's a real strategy, a real tactic for getting to where you want to go. I don't know if you know this, but professional athletes practice this. CEOs practice this. World leaders practice this. People you know of, the Oprah Winfreys and whatnot, who have achieved a lot in life, they practice this. They do visualization, they hire coaches, all of this. Like all of this, they do this. Now, these are people who've already won a million times over, and guess what? They still need this. They still need to implement, to practice this kind of stuff. So what does that tell you? That it's something we all need. In order for you to get from your first dream or from the first moment of having that hope to get to the step of actually taking action, you have to allow yourself to imagine it and imagine the full picture, the whole dream. No no's, all yeses, all right? So first step was to be in touch with your emotions, allow them, and realize they're normal and everyone has them. The second step is to allow yourself to visualize the life you desire, no limits, no no's, all yeses. Recognize that this is normal. Recognize that even the people we see who've achieved a lot over and over again still use this technique, and they still have coaches and visualization as a technique to help them to get to where they want to go in their minds, because it all starts up here, right? So imagine yourself around the culture that you want to be around. Imagine yourself hearing the language, the people, whatever it is that you want to see in that picture. If it's not just one place, if it's you doing fast traveling, right? Like do that, like imagine that. If it's slow traveling, allow that, imagine that. Whatever it is that you're picturing for yourself, allow that. And one of the techniques I use personally or have used when I'm traveling somewhere, or now with me, being a resident in Mexico, one of the techniques I used for my mindset shift was I like to go online and look at those YouTube videos that show you people driving around. Like I was looking at San Jose, Costa Rica, and then I ended up deciding on Mexico City, Mexico. I love both places. I've been to both places, right? I love both places. But for now, right now, Mexico City, Mexico seems like the place for my own personal reasons. But I looked at San Jose, Costa Rica. I watched people driving around to get a sense of, even outside San Jose, of what they're experiencing, what they're seeing, what they're hearing. Sometimes it's a silent drive, sometimes they're describing. I like both kinds of videos, but it gives me a sense of being there. And I can take those imageries with me when I leave that video. And that helps me to sort of start making the mindset shift of me being in that place. I look at a lot of pictures. I like the tours and walking tours people do too, especially when they're silent. And I get the sense of being there. So these are tools I like to use to help myself. It's like my visualization prompts, you can call them, right? Because you can visualize without that, but nothing gives me more clarity than actually having real videos of people moving around these spaces that I am dreaming of being in. So that works for me. But find what works for you. It's nice to listen to other people's opinions and their feelings about a place, but there's nothing like seeing it for yourself, even if it's through video, and just getting a sense for yourself of what that's like. All right, so visualization was number 2, right? And I don't remember how many I actually have here in my notes, so I didn't count. All right, the third one is, here's one that I know a lot of you would be happy about, is addressing the practical concerns. Because a lot of your fears and doubts and all that, there are practical concerns, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but there are practical concerns. Take a sip of water here. Bear with me. There are practical concerns. There are practical considerations. So moving abroad is not a small endeavor. It's something significant. There are a lot of steps. If you want to do it in a way that minimizes your risk and makes it as smooth a transition as possible for you, you do want to address any practical concerns, any logistics. So it's wise to go forward with this with a plan. I don't believe that everything needs to be planned. When I travel abroad, if I take a trip, when I went to Dubai, for instance, I didn't have specific plans for specific days, but while I was there, I signed up for a couple of, day trips. But I like having the flexibility to do things when I feel like it. But a move abroad is a huge endeavor. So there are a lot of steps along the way, and it's easy to make a misstep on something important, but there are ways to address that. One of the ways is to make sure you have a plan with all the logistics thought out and document your plan. Someone else's plan may not work for you. You may have, like me, you may have health challenges. I have autoimmune conditions that can sometimes be debilitating on one day and I'm fine the next day. Like I can't be certain about how I'm going to do from one week to the other. And there are specific things that go with those, like needs I have. So I have to make a plan that includes those things as considerations. Some people have pets that they want to take with them or travel with. Some people have children. That's huge, that they have to consider, and maybe they'll be homeschooling or schooling online. And there are plenty of people doing that. There are solutions for those things too. Some people have work that is not that they can't do remotely, so they have to consider a new way of attracting financing, of earning funding for their new life. And those are they're solutions for all of those things. But those are things that each of those steps has their own steps. So without a plan, it's easy to miss something, right? So I believe in addressing practical concerns, which is number 3. But the way you do that is to have a plan. So you want to start researching visa requirements, or you want to start looking at cost of living with the right tools, or you want to look at either job opportunities, remote job opportunities abroad, or you want to look at ways that you can earn money with your skill set while abroad, in whatever country it is you desire to live in. Information is power, and the more you know, the less daunting all of this is, and your obstacles will seem less scary. You'll know that you can overcome them. So as a Black woman, one of the things I like to recommend is joining communities. If you aren't part of communities, there are plenty of communities that I'm part of. I'm happy to share that with you. You can ask me questions in the comments about that. But the communities are places where you can get a lot of information, whether for instance, on Facebook. There are a lot of Facebook groups where people can answer questions. But again, when individuals are sharing information with you, even if they have some similarities with you, like they have kids or they have pets or they have, chronic illness, it may still differ for them. There may be considerations you have that they won't have, even though you have those things in common. So the groups are good for community and emotional support, and for getting a lot of the bigger questions answered, but you still want to have your own plan, right? So one of the things I've done is based on my recent experiences and my research and my travels that I've done for the years prior to this, is to put together a move abroad planner. It's a guide and planner. It's like 130 something pages. Don't be overwhelmed by that. I use large font, and there are also worksheets in it, and there are like visuals in it that'll help you like plot timelines and address all the different parts of the different logistics that you need to address as someone who's moving abroad. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description of this video. So go check that out. You don't want to miss it. I've really gone through, based on, my recent experiences, and made sure that I covered as much as possible so that I can help you with this process. And again, this thing is lots of pages because it covers a lot of things, but you'll be working through each step one at a time, like almost like chapter by chapter, and you'll be able to put your information in. It's a PDF document, so you can put your information in as your planner, circle the things that apply to you, and work through your steps towards your dream of living abroad, wherever it is that you want to live, right? So I'm going to put the link in the description. So then that's addressing your practical concerns, having a plan, all right? The next step is to connect with a mentor or coach, and you may or may not need this. It depends on your circumstances. But whether it's when you're choosing a coach, mentors you can find online, or you may know someone personally who can be your mentor. Ask them, or you don't have to ask them. If they put their information out there, you can follow them and sort of use that as your guidance. But working with a coach is a little more personal, much like writing your own plan. They're going to help you specifically work through your steps. And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Most coaches these days have reasonable fees for things like this. If you're doing coaching around business, that can be really pricey. But for lifestyle things, coaching tends to be a little bit more cost effective, a little more affordable. So you can choose a coach. When you're choosing a coach to help you through your step-by-step plan and to keep you motivated, because that's the key, those are the key deliverables from a coach. You want to look at more than just, I think this person's personality is one I like, even though you want to be able to feel like you can relate. Is this person someone who can help me with where I am now? Is this someone who has been through the process that I'm trying to go through? Is this someone who has tools that can help me, that I can use, that can help me to get where I need to go? Does this person think logistically, strategically, or are they just feel-good coaches, right? Which you may just need feel-good coaches if you're looking for motivation only. But if you really want to address the things you need to address to get through your planning and your process, whether it's in 9 months or 18 months to move abroad, if you're looking to move out of the US and move to your dream country, or even starting before that, like starting with identifying the country that is right for you. It's not just that you like the country. I always think about how choosing a country is similar to choosing an outfit. If you've been doing the whole buying clothes for a minute, you know. I just went to a store recently, and this woman, I was looking at all their stuff, and I said, oh, I saw this wonderful green outfit. And I was like, man, I always love green, but green doesn't always love me. And that's the truth. And just like with outfits, certain cuts don't really work with your body, certain styles, certain prints, certain colors. You know this. So there may be countries that look really fabulous to you, but do they align with your personal values? Do they align with the dream lifestyle you want for yourself? Do they address issues you may have, like in my case, with autoimmune illnesses and needing care, needing medication, needing physicians? Will the country, can I pick a random country without considering healthcare as an option and how costly that is, or not so costly, or availability of medications? No, I can't do that. And neither can you if the things that are important to you aren't going to be available to you in that country. So choosing a coach is also like that. Choose a coach that can provide the things you need to get you the dream you have, versus that one, I like that color, or I like that cut, or I like that country, but it doesn't provide what you need. So connect with a mentor or coach, right? So this doesn't have to cost you money or much money, depending on how you go. Okay, here's another step. Embrace the learning curve. Someone recently did a video, I think it was, if you're not familiar with her, Rashida Dow. She did a video where that wasn't her main topic, but she talked about how sometimes people go to new countries without doing their research, doing their due diligence, and then they're disappointed, or they didn't expect that they'd have to make adjustments. And part of that is just embracing the learning curve. You have to know that you're going to an entirely different country. Sometimes there's a language difference, sometimes there are cultural differences, sometimes there are values differences. Whatever it is, when you choose your country after you've done your research and done the work and done your planning, embrace the learning curve. Like, not just know it, but look forward to it. Like, I look forward to improving my Spanish. My Spanish is like a 2 or 3 year olds. When I speak, people generally understand me, but it sounds like a lot of broke. If you know people speak broken English, it's like that, right? From my perspective, from their perspective, listen to me, I sound like that. I'm able to get around. In the past, I've traveled to Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, other places. They're Spanish speaking, Dominican Republic, whatever, on my own. I'm a solo traveler. That's my style. I love it. And I've gotten around on my own because I can communicate in Spanish, but it's not very fluent. I'm not fluent. So, but I embrace that idea of learning and improving. I look forward to being fluent one day. And there are other ways that I embrace the learning curve, like foods might be different. People's attitudes might be different than American attitudes, which that's pretty common. American attitudes is different than a lot of people's attitudes in the rest of the world. I'm not saying whether that's good or bad, but it is what it is, right? So embrace the learning curve. Find enthusiasm, excitement about. I've always been someone who loved learning, so for me, it's always exciting. Find a way to make that shift, to make that exciting for you. All right, the next step is to take small, consistent steps. So this is where, again, going back to your planning works, or if you have a mentor or coach helps, because you are then going to have them help you make those small, consistent steps. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't feel like you have to have it all together and do it all in 1 month or in 3 months, whatever. Make it a more realistic timeline for yourself, and then focus on the most immediate step that you need to take. Put things on your calendar, make it a priority, because remember, the things you're doing now are supporting the life you have now. The things you have in your plan for your move abroad are supporting the life you dream of having in a country outside of your home country, outside the United States, for instance. So get your plan together and then take small, consistent steps. In the planner that I mentioned, the guide and planner, the move abroad planner, by the way, it's called the escape plan. So in that you have where you can do a 9-month timeline or 18-month timeline. You can switch it up however you want, make it 6 months if you want, but those are the 2 options I provide in the planner, and you can just adjust things as you need to. But you will be able to focus on the small, consistent steps that you need to take, because all of this can feel really overwhelming. I bet some of you feel that before you even started, just thinking about it feels overwhelming, right? All this can be really overwhelming or feel overwhelming if you're thinking about everything at once. Get your plan together, address the logistics, the practical concerns, and then one small step at a time towards your deadline, your date. Right? All right. The next one is to celebrate your courage. I believe in celebrating the smallest wins you have. If you go back, I used to talk to my life coaching clients like this, like if you go back to when you're a kid, or if you have children right now, it's when they do something minor, what seems minor, seemingly minor, those arms shoot straight up in the air. The yay, the arm goes up in the air, right? So I used to have my clients do this, like shoot their arms up in the air, do the yay and shoot their arms up in the air. And what they came to realize is that just doing that yay and putting your arms up in the air, you get this rush of endorphins. You like to reward yourself. You give yourself a prize. You do that for yourself. Even though you didn't just win anything by doing it, you did that for yourself. And so we need that with the world throwing all the negative stuff at us that's causing us to have these negative chemical things happening in our body, cortisol, making our guts grow and all that. Like giving yourself that burst of energy, of enthusiasm, and having that wonderful surge of good feeling chemicals in our bodies is a great thing to do for ourselves. So celebrate your courage. Courage might seem like a small thing when I say it here, but think about when you're afraid and how big that is. So in order for you to exercise courage, that's huge. It's just as big as the fear, if not bigger. And when you're celebrating your courage, it's building that courage muscle, right? Like if you celebrate your small steps, your small acts of courage, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Just like when you go to work out and you first pick up the lighter weight, the 20 pounder, and you're doing the lifting and it feels like a lot, it really starts burning. But then one day you can lift a 40, one day that 20 pounder is nothing, no challenge, and you can lift a 40 pounder and now that's burning, and then you keep getting stronger and stronger because you're building that muscle. Same thing happens with courage. The things that scare you now will scare you less later. They might still come back and scare you sometimes, and sometimes not at all, but they scare you far less later on because you're building that courage muscle. So start by celebrating your courage. The first step is celebrating the courage to have the dream. Celebrating the courage to acknowledge your feelings, even the ones that scare you. Celebrate the courage to get a planner, even if you haven't started using it. Just get the planner and look at it and start thinking, that's allowing yourself to dream. To even get that planner means I plan to do this. Celebrate the courage to start in on that planner. Celebrate the courage to get yourself a mentor or a coach. Celebrate the courage to even have, like I said, have the dream. That's the biggest thing. To allow yourself to have the dream, to allow yourself to visualize really big. Celebrate each of those steps, acts of courage. Give yourself that, all right? Okay, so as you're going to get ready to move forward, you're going through these steps, you're moving forward from the mindset. You can always go back and listen to this again or look at your notes if you took notes, because you're going to need this more than once. You're going to need this reminder. Remember I said that those big celebrities and professional athletes and all those people the CEOs of big companies, they hire coaches and they practice visualization, even though they've achieved so much already, because you're always going to have to go back to that exercise, right? So as you move forward in this huge life-altering, life-changing adventure that's coming your way, remember that it's normal to feel stuck sometimes. It's normal to feel fearful, apprehensive, have some self-doubt. Just know that what matters is how you move forward. Well, that you move forward and how you move forward. You're not alone on this journey. Many people have walked this journey before you. Many people are walking this journey with you right now, including me. Many of us are on this journey. You're not alone in this. Each step is you crafting the life you imagine for yourself or for you and your family. So just take a deep breath. All right, take a deep breath when that anxiety comes up. Allow yourself to go back to your visualization. Do your planning thoroughly and embrace the beautiful uncertainty of what's to come so that you can live your life boldly in this vast world. Do you know that the US is only 4% of the world's population? That's 96% of the world out there for you to experience. Okay, the world awaits you to make your own unique imprint on this earth. So go on. With every challenge you conquer, every fear you face, you are crafting your own story. You're going to build resilience. You're going to have adventures. And when you're ready to take the leap, you will have a plan that can guide you through all the logistics. I look forward to seeing you take your steps. I look forward to seeing your questions in the comments and being able to answer them for you. I appreciate that you took the time today to watch. I'll have more fun videos for you, more informative videos for you. So make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you thought this was helpful, and hit the notifications bell so you'll know when I go live, because I'd rather have this conversation face to face, if we want to call it that, live, interactive, synchronous, right? So I want to have this with you in the future where you're live and ask me questions, engaging. All right, take care. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day.